Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Holy cow, what an episode. Wow, 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 5, Episode 9, Burnt Bridges and Better Truth. That was a mouthful. Guys, this was such an episode. Thank you guys, everybody, for piling in. And thank you, Grandma Scary, for the first super chat of the night. You're amazing. Also, thank you, Sylvia, for the PayPal donation for tonight. I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much. Tonight was such a crazy episode. It didn't disappoint. Between Jess throwing her shoe, Karini's definitely about to hightail it to Brazil. Asuelu's mom and his sister not being happy with the money. I don't even know where to start. Angela doesn't care that Michael's mom has expectations about her having a baby at this point anymore. She's had enough. She feels like she's gotten so many blessings. Guys, there's so much to cover. But before I do, guys, I just want to kind of cover some of our goals coming up. If you follow me, then you'll see in my community tab that we do have a few goals coming up. One of them, and I guess the most important one, would be I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, because once I do, we have access to a cool feature called the merch store. So once we can open the merch store, guys, we are going to start selling merchandise that is called By Jolene merchandise. If you guys follow my channel, you know that Jolene is an internet troll / cyberbully, and we're going to turn a negative into a positive, and we're going to give back to cyberbullies. Awesome. Guys, also, if you don't know this, Grandma Scary gave me a little bit of tea, and she said that Paul was fired today from TLC. Paul and Karini are officially fired from TLC, but that's what Grandma Scary says. I have to look into this a little bit more. Not saying Grandma Scary's wrong, but I at least want to make sure that I have my sources right. Okay, guys? Now I think that everybody's in the room. Hi, guys. Hi. Shan's in here. Carla's in here. Jamal, Debbie, Grandma. All right. C. Cruz. Guys, this is an awesome night. All right. Where do we start? Let's start at the top. We're going to start with Colt and Jess. I'm just going to go couple by couple. So Colt and Jess. Colt's afraid that Jess is starting to lash out a little bit like Larissa. He feels like he's seen these behavioral patterns before, and I can see that. I mean, sure, in all honesty, Colt did lie. So you did lie, but the way that she's acting, she's like, Vanessa is, I can't say it on here because you guys know I can't cuss on here, but she called her the B word. I called her the B word a couple times, but Colt kept telling her that I wasn't talking to her. Also, guys, why doesn't she call Colt Colty? Is she from a different part of Brazil? I never thought about that, but I do want answers on that. So if we ever talk to Jess and Larissa, we're going to ask. But Colt did say that he feels like he's walking on eggshells around her. He's talking to his mom when we see like the intro, and we see that he's just kind of telling her, listen, I wish you wouldn't have said that about Vanessa. And Debbie did say, oh, I didn't know, but she did. And he said that I feel like she lashes out. Like she's just kind of like, when it's like, it's too much. It's too crazy. And he feels like he's getting anxiety from it. I do understand that, but like I said, he shouldn't have started this relationship off with a lie. He's only met her like 5 times. Why are you going to start lying to her already? Debbie did tell him to note the red flags because there are many already, but this is before the shoe throw, which of course I love a good reality TV moment. And that was one of them. Jess asked Vanessa apparently if they could talk. So I guess Jess talked to Vanessa, and, Vanessa told Jess that they still talk, that Colt still talks to her, and that obviously didn't sit well, guys. This is when she kind of freaks out. So Jess ends up throwing a shoe at Colt. Jess ends up walking away. She said he's pretty much trash and that she's going to go boink her ex. Oh, this obviously wasn't the fairy tale ending that Colt was looking for, because he was about to propose. He asked her dad and everything. Debbie was onto it, but Debbie got her wish. She saw that he was going to ask to propose. And what she did was she dropped the V-bomb, which is Vanessa, not the other V, it's Vanessa. Dropped the V-bomb, and then boom, proposal's over. Debbie got what she wanted. That's exactly why she wanted to come to Brazil. She wanted to interfere to make sure that Colt by no means got married without or did anything without her like kind of being there, and then came home to drop the bomb on him. So she went to drop the bomb before he could drop the bomb. I love that about Debbie. Moms know, guys. Moms know. She said that she said that he's trash. So this was just a complete fail. Guys, I am going to eventually drop down the share whatever, the link, so you guys can call in. I want to hear your thoughts. These are some great moments from tonight. I'm about to go on to Asuelu and Kalani, but before I do, I am going to drop the link real quick. That way, if you guys want to call in, you can. All right. Asuelu and Kalani. Okay. So Asuelu thinks that he saw a ghost in the Airbnb, but that's okay because even though he thinks that he saw a ghost again with my cyberbullying campaign, Asuelu did turn a negative into a positive because they were originally fighting when they got to the Airbnb because originally Kalani or Asuelu wanted to go see his family that night. Kalani was like, no, the kids are screaming. We're not going to see them tonight. We're going straight to the Airbnb. Then apparently he had to go do number 2, and then he saw some ghost chick sitting there staring at him, and he got all upset about it. And then Kalani was like, well, I thought I heard something too. So then she, got all freaked out about it, and then they bonded about it. So great, that's fantastic. But then I like the fact that Kalani she had one kind of, one condition, I guess I want to say, about going on this trip to visit Asuelu's family. Her one condition was, I get to bring my sister Karini. So as long as Kalani gets to come, then sure, I'll do it. But why? She needs backup. I understand that too, because Asuelu's family is going to be a lot, as she already saw on the FaceTime. They're demanding money. They said, why haven't you sent money back to Samoa? What are you doing? What are you going to bring us? And I think Kalani just wants support because at this point, she knows she's walking into the lion's cage. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I don't even want to butcher that name, but it's a beautiful name, and thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. So aside from that one condition, I guess the other one maybe would have been the fact that Kalani's like, hell no, we're not giving your family $1,000. You have a family to pay for of your own, and Kalani doesn't work. Asuelu serves yogurt. So obviously they don't have the money to serve them. I mean, I understand that. And Asuelu's sister says, this week also, I didn't understand this. She said 2 things. This week, we're going to check and see how good Kalani and Asuelu are together. Well, 2 babies too late. That doesn't matter. And your opinion doesn't matter because they have 2 kids together. So I don't even know what she's talking about. And then the second thing was how much money did you bring mom? And it was like, what? How much money did you bring mom? And he was kind of like awkward. Like, ooh, guys, we have 44 in the room. Let's hit 50. He was super awkward and he said, I'll give you guys 100. And then the whole the mood changes. They're just kind of like, they thanked him for the food. They didn't even thank Kalani for the food from the little lunch truck thing where they sat around and they ate. They didn't even acknowledge the fact that Kalani participated in buying the food, whatever the case is. But once they found out about the $100, guys, they were not having it. They were just kind of like, this is not enough. You're not supporting the family. You're not doing your due diligence to your Samoan family and so on and so forth. And the mom said she needs so much stuff. She was just naming everything that she needs the money for. But also, guys, these women look fully capable of being able to work. So I understand that these are guys, 50 in the room. That's awesome. Let's hit 75. And also thank you for the super stickers. But no, I think that they're fully capable of working. I don't think that, have you seen Asuelu try to hold a conversation? With no disrespect, you guys need to back off this guy because he can barely provide $1,000 for his own family. I don't think you guys need to be yelling at him about providing $1,000 for your family. There's 3 of you. There's 1 of him. And 1 of him don't even equal 1/3 of you. Yeah, it's a lot of math. I'm mind blown by this. But anyways, eventually Kalani's sitting at the table and she's so annoyed with this. Kalani finally snapped in the moment and she asked the sister, do you send money to Samoa? No? Okay. The sister said, that's none of your business. Kalani said, it is my business. Whew. Got me all excited about that for a second. I don't like this because I understand Kalani has 2 kids. You see, she holds them by the side and walks them in when Asuelu closes the door in her face. And she already has problems with that, big ASS child walking around. And this is frustrating at this point. She let him buy 15 pounds of meat for them. Even though that was the stupidest gift ever, unless that was a cultural thing too, then I take that back. I apologize. But anyways, whatever. So Kalani finally spoke up, and I love this moment of tonight's episode because good for you, Kalani. She's like, we have a family too. We have kids. I don't work. And they're like, why don't you work? You need to work more. Asuelu needs to work full time. And whatever. The mom was pretty mad though. She was upset that Kalani even spoke up in the first place, pretty much saying like this is a family affair without Kalani. And she said, you know, she didn't like the way that she talked to Asuelu's sister. But at least Asuelu is finally starting to see like what's going on, and he's like, you know, I do see, like, I have a wife, I have a family, I have my own things to pay for. Like, I feel like the only time they want to talk to me is about money. And it's like, okay, yeah, at least you're finally starting. Good job, Asuelu. You're learning how to ride a bike, and you're learning how to, like, take your wife's side. Good for Asuelu. Monique, his family, yeah, me too. Well, I also think, Jamal, I sort of kind of agree with this, but also sometimes, and I only know this because I had a sister-in-law, sometimes childcare, the cost of childcare, especially for two babies, outweighs what she could potentially make. So it kind of like, it offsets it. It depends. It's situational. Does he make, who knows, guys? You're funny, Shan. All right, guys, so we're going to move on to the next couple, Libby and Andrei. Okay, so obviously I made my thumbnail about that tonight, guys. 56 in the room. We're still pushing for 75. And I want to say Vera, but it might be Vira. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You're the best. Let's go on to Libby and Andrei. Andrei and Charlie are about to throw down. Yes, and guys, my money is on Andrei because have you seen this guy? He's massive. He's like, he says he's 6'4", or they said he's 6'4". I swear this guy's probably about 6'6". But I really feel like Charlie and Chuck instigated a lot of this because they're asking over and over the same questions at the table, completely just like putting out there, like, you know, this guy he's acted one way in America, but he's acting one way here. Why did you really go to Ireland, Andrei? And they're almost making the mood kind of like, bleh. And it's too much, but they're trying to find out his criminal background. What I don't understand though, is why throw stones when your house is glass too? It's like, they all have criminal backgrounds. Why are you going after his? And this is what I didn't understand in this moment. So of course, who did I call? I had to call my mom. And I asked her, I was like, Mom, you're watching this. What do you think? I said, do you think that Chuck and Charlie are bringing this up in the moment? I mean, why are they bringing this up in the moment with the cameras? Is it one, to embarrass him and put it out there and just kind of put him on the spot in front of his family? You know, like, why wouldn't they ask him in private? Or is it two, Chuck and Charlie and the rest of the family, they've tried to get Andrei to be honest about his background, and he hasn't been. So they thought this would be the opportune moment to take that, to ask him and say, you know, hey, dude, why'd you go to Ireland and what's your background? What are you hiding from us? And, you know, that's, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they instigated this a lot. Andrei's brother Radu and sister-in-law Ina, they're very level-headed. They're kind of saying, Andrei, why are you like screaming at the top of or like, why are you not screaming, but like talking to your family like that? This is your father-in-law. Have more respect. They've come to your country. Andrei's like, you need to get out of America. He's about to whoop, you know, Charlie's ASS, and he's done with it. He's done with the conversation. His friends also agree. They're like, you know, you guys are instigating it at this point. And Chuck is like, this is a whole new side of Andrei that I've never seen. I don't even know whose side to take at this point. I think, honestly, in this moment, I know Andrei is usually an ASS, but I really feel like Chuck and Charlie came there with a chip on their shoulder. And I know that I'm saying that, and you guys are going to sound off in the comments, and you're going to rip my head off, and you're going to say, yeah, but when they first got to the airport, Andrei and Libby, when she was like, are you excited about my family coming? And he was like, no, not really. You know, like, yes, I get it that he's a jerk, but I really don't feel like he initiated this argument, honestly. If you guys feel otherwise, please sound off in the comments. Go ahead, say whatever you want. I don't think so. But I think at this point, Libby's a little bit concerned. First of all, everybody's expecting something from Libby. Andrei's trying to fight with Libby. She's like, you're not going to effing talk to me like that. Or you're not going to speak to me this way. Andrei got in her face, and Libby was like, no way, we're not doing this. Libby wants to know at this point if he's hiding something too. So we're going to find out, guys. It's coming on the episodes. Obviously, we see where he says that it's something that he doesn't want to talk about. It's something bigger, and it's almost like sort of dangerous. So I don't know. I guess I'm excited for that storyline. Not as excited as I am for Angela and Michael, but that's only because I'm biased. I love Angela. But before we get into Angela and Michael, we have to go through Tanya and Sinjin. Okay? Woo! I'm going to take a sip of this. Guys, say whatever you want in the comments below. I feel like I'm on a roll. Almost like I've had 4 shots of espresso like it's the morning, but it's not. All right, guys, Tanya and Sinjin, and now we're in South Africa. So we're visiting Sinjin's brother after he had a blood clot. Obviously, this was a medical scare, and as we saw, I feel like this has been their whole storyline. Sinjin's been drunk. Tanya can't handle him drinking. Tanya can't handle Sinjin not loving his life in America, and now he's having family health problems, okay? So now they're visiting the family because of the blood clot, and Tanya's freaked out because she feels like Sinjin's starting to miss his old ways a little bit, I think. As we move forward, we see that they're going to go see the brother after they have breakfast or whatever, a conversation with the mom and sister, whatever. Anyways, they go to see the brother. As they go to drive off, did you guys see how Tanya freaked out when they start driving the car? Because he barely inched forward and she's like, no, and starts crying. I understand she did say that she got into an accident previously a few months earlier, but it's not, he was calm down. It wasn't that big of a deal. I think that at this point, she's being so hypersensitive to anything because I feel like she's there in his country alone, a little bit vulnerable. I feel like Jamal is going to be very boisterous about this if he ends up calling in because I know he'll have something to say. But yeah, I just think that I think that she's being a little over dramatic. Sinjin tells his brother that it's America. It's not exactly what he thought, and it's not technically perfect. It's not the best life, and obviously Tanya's not going to be happy about that. Tanya's like, sure, America's not the best country ever, but it's not the worst. Tanya, I have to disagree with you. I would honestly proudly say America is the best country ever, but maybe I'm a little bit biased because I was born here. I just wanted to give that as a side note, Tanya. I think you're a little bit wrong. But Tanya ends up spending time with Sinjin's mom at the market, and Tanya tells her that she feels like he's never really going to be ready to settle down. She feels like he's not going to change his ways, and his family kind of agrees. His family thinks that he's a free spirit. So I'm not really sure what you guys think. I don't think this couple is going to last, and I don't want to be a jerk about it. It's my own opinion. I would love if you guys would just sound off in the comments below and let me know. Do you guys think that Tanya and Sinjin are going to last, or no way? Let's see. Master of Blackjack Channel 2. Guys, if you don't know his channel, he always has the best clips of the episodes. You have to go check him out. I was thinking about trying to watch Elizabeth's made-for-TV movie, but I haven't. Okay. Right when I shout you out, you got to say something like that. No, I love it. Deborah, thank you so much for the super sticker. You're the best. All right, guys. So before I start taking calls, we have 2 more couples to go over. And then, guys, I want you to start sounding off. It's Angela, Michael, and Paul and Karini. I would say I want to save the best for last, but I do have new tea on the last. So I'm going to take the best and put them second to last, okay? Coming from Master of Blackjack, by the way, that is a compliment. Thank you. Cancer-free, yay! So Angela's finally cancer-free. Not finally cancer-free. Actually, I said that wrong. She never had cancer to begin with, but she finally knows. She's assured that she is cancer-free, which is exciting. I know that we found this out already, but it's a good thing to know. But I love that Michael asks her in the car, he's like, are you going to smoke in the wedding? And she goes, well, what the do you mean? And he's like, what? And she's like, what the do you I'm a grown woman and I'm done trying to impress Michael. And she's like, I'm not trying to impress Michael. And so, okay, so it goes on from there. And then we end up getting on a boat ride. So we're going on a boat ride. And obviously the conversation, why is Angela in Nigeria to get married? So the conversation is about getting married, right? We start talking about mom's approval and potentially not having babies. Guys, you have to remember, Angela, she has her age to consider. And she even told Michael this. She has her age to consider. She has to quit smoking. She needs to get her heart checked. There are so many different variables to go into this. with all due respect, she keeps pretty much saying, and these aren't her words, but like, I'm no spring chicken, I'm not 20 years old. And it's just like she wants Michael to fully understand this. And she wants to know before she dives into a marriage that Michael can fully commit and know, listen, I potentially may not be able to give you a baby. If that's the case, are you going to leave me high and dry? Because if that's the case, wash my hands and you're not getting shite. And that's smart, Angela. Angela just wants to, is it dot your I's and cross your T's? Cross your T's and dot your I's? Whatever. Angela wants to do one of those. So I understand that. Angela said Michael needs to consider her age and Master of Blackjack Channel 2, thank you so much for the super sticker. You're the best. I'm leaving that up for a minute because you're awesome. Especially, guys, if you haven't already, please, please, please go subscribe to Master of Blackjack. He has the best clips from the 90-day shows. If you look at him, and this guy has like 150,000 views in like 2 days on one video. So please go support Master of Blackjack's channel. Angela and Michael need to consider all of her stuff. We already talked about that. All right, so this is where it gets good. Finally, they get to the end of the conversation, and he says, my mom might not support us. And what if she doesn't? Angela said, who gives a... And I can't say that. You guys know that I'm on a live on YouTube, and it'll demonetize me, so I can't say it. But she says, who gives a... And you know Angela's language. So she's pretty much at this point, she's like, I've already got the blessing. I don't need to give you more than that. I'm done, Michael. Like, I'm not asking for more from your mom. I am done. At this point, I agree with Angela. She's like, Michael's not taking the trip and hop across the pond to go see Angela and her family and her sick mom and all of that. Angela's the one leaving all of that. And I understand he can't get into the country, but still, she's still making a lot of sacrifice. And she also said she's paying for the apartment. So at this point, she's doing a lot. And she wore the cultural attire. She learned how to cook. She is always so pleasant and so polite to Michael's family. I am so team Angela, it's not even funny. God, that just gets me heated up. I love Angela. So they start finishing the wedding stuff and they start tasting cake. Thank you, Alexis, for the super sticker. Thank you so much, guys. They start tasting wedding cake, blah, blah, blah. But Michael's talking to his family and they agreed that they'll contribute to the wedding. But the family is not happy about Angela's baby news because she obviously, she came clean and they suggested a surrogate. I don't know if you guys saw that. But also they weren't, I don't think, understanding or the most understanding about the fact that, wanted to take that down for you guys, sorry. The fact that Angela wants to make this more of a American wedding as opposed to a Nigerian wedding. So there's a lot going on here too. We've obviously seen the photos leak of Angela getting married to Michael. If you haven't already, I'll post them on my community tab tonight. But Angela and Michael have already been married, so we know it happens. We just, I think we've seen Angela already jump through hurdles to get Michael's kind of like blessing and all of that, whatever the case is. I think that she's really done what she was supposed to, and she's really putting herself out there. Especially, you guys have to understand, at this moment, she has a sick mom at home. What has Michael really done for Angela? So that's all I'm going to say. It's like, I understand where she's coming from on all fronts. I'm just so team Angela, it's not even funny. I feel like I'm so biased. Thank you, Oblavi, for the super sticker. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so biased, guys. Paul has had prior allegations by exes and was convicted of the arson felony. That, guys, if you guys missed that, what Grandma Scary's talking about is these were the terrorist charges that when Paul got to Brazil, they said, we think you might be a terrorist because of arson charges. Paul, you have quite the background, sir. And speaking of Paul, guys, I'm just going to jump right into our last couple, Paul and Karini. Paul and Karini, they've been in the new house for about a month, and Paul still has no job. Paul, no job, a month. Okay, Paul, I'm done playing with you. Paul still has no job after a month, and Karini's like, I'm not liking the house. I don't like the fact that you don't have a job. I'm sick of this stupid ASS train that keeps going past. Like, she's done with the noise. She's over it. she ends up looking at Paul and she's like, listen, you have 2 months to find a job or I'm packing my SHIT and I am going back to Brazil. I don't blame her. At this point, I was so team Paul only for the fact, I want to put this back up because it's floating. Oh. Thank you, Master of Blackjack. I just the fact that I get that Paul's trying, but what are you doing that's not working? You know, I understand the house and that was a great try, but why can't he find a job? So I don't know if this is true. This is so alleged. Like these are complete rumors unless somebody can sound off below and say something or give me some kind of tea that I don't know about. Apparently he was shoveling like manure or feces and he couldn't even handle that job, so he got fired from that. So I'm guessing that Paul is just not good with working for somebody. Maybe Paul should start his own YouTube and be his own boss. It sounds like maybe that would be the best. Unless, if you guys go watch Master of Blackjack's channel, Master of Blackjack bought a cameo from Paul, and he recorded for over an hour. I think it was an hour and a half. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Master of Blackjack posted it on his channel, but Paul recorded an hour and a half cameo of himself just talking and rambling on. I don't know, guys. I wanted to save them for last because Paul is apparently fired. Paul and Karini have been let go. There are so many allegations right now. Who knows? Karini left. There's the alleged restraining order or protection order. Apparently, some sort of I don't even want to throw things out there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. We'll see when the details come out. That's why I don't want to throw any extra dirt on the man's name. But if you guys would like, please, I'm going to drop down the link. I would love for everybody to call in. I do have one caller in already. I have Alabama Camper. Can't wait to find out who her favorite couple is. I'm bringing her on right now. And thank you guys so much for the donations. You guys are the best. Hi, Alabama Camper. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. All right. So who is your favorite couple tonight?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's my favorite couple, but the couple that's annoying is
most annoying.
Yes, Andrei.
Oh, but I honestly, I don't think it was his fault. No, what do you think?
I do. I mean, he has not been honest about anything to do with his past to her family at all. And then to sit there at the table where her dad is the one that gave her the money to go there and get married, the second wedding, and for him to be so disrespectful.
Well, yes, I agree with that. I think the disrespect is just ridiculous, but I just don't think, I feel like Chuck and Charlie, I mean, Alabama Camper, my question is, Chuck and Charlie, don't you feel like they're digging for some sort of reaction?
I do feel like they're digging, but if I was in that situation and that was my daughter or son, I would do the same thing. I would be digging as well. I would want an answer.
But why would they bring it up in front of the cameras? Why don't they ask him off the cameras?
Well, I mean, this is reality TV. So we're probably, not seeing it all. But, personally, I think that also it should have been, I wouldn't travel all the way around the world to go somewhere to confront somebody after they've already been married for how long?
Yeah. And then can I ask you then, did you watch the whole episode?
I did.
Okay, so what did you think about the going to confront thing? What did you think about Asuelu's sister and Kalani? They're kind of like, they're back and forth. That was just and her saying that she had no right to do that, or pretty much it wasn't her business. That just blew my mind. I'm like, you're asking the family for $1,000. She just spat out 2 kids like less than 5 years ago.
I personally would have handled that a lot worse than she handled that. For the family to sit there and ask them for money, and they're in the United States, which is what I don't get.
Yeah, so that's what I'm like. You can do a job just like Paul. You can get a job now. There's a job out there.
But they must be getting some kind of money to be living in the United States, right? But then they're confronting Asuelu, right? And Kalani is the one that's like the strong-minded one. She's like, no, we can't do this. I know it's your family, but I love your family. We can't do this. And he's like, what do I tell my family? You know, and she's like, I don't care what you tell your family, but we don't have $1,000. And so he comes up with $100, which it was probably way even more than what she wanted to. And
especially after spending everything they spent in the gift shop, and they have to get an Airbnb, and right. I'm sure they're paying for the all the food, like we already saw.
And then the sister has the audacity to sit there, and then even the deaf sister, God bless her, she even was like in tune with it. She was like, well, that's not enough. $100 isn't enough. And then the one sister is like, well, you know, that's just not going to work. Mom needs more money than that. And then that's when Kalani's like, well, what do you do?
Yeah. At this point, I would have been like, this is honestly between, who said this? Ray Della, airfares, car, etc. Yeah, there's so much that's going into this. Alabama camper, please stay on. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a few other callers, and if you'd like, I would love to bring you back on to hear a few more opinions. All right, guys. Alabama camper, thank you for joining. I'm about to bring up Carla and Jamal to sound off. Before I bring you guys up, just so you guys know, before you come up, what the topic is, I guess. I don't know why I got so lost-minded in that. I want to know, who was your least favorite couple of the night? Who was the couple that really just irked you? Because obviously, as you saw, I asked Alabama camper who was her favorite couple tonight. She didn't even answer that. She just wanted to talk about her least favorite. So let's talk about our least favorite couple. And guys, if you have any static, I just have to drop you. I'm so sorry. So if you come on with static, I'll just drop you and bring you back on later.
Hey.
Hi, Carla. Hi, Jamal.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Carla.
Hey, Jamal.
All right, Carla, ladies
you go
first, please.
Yes, least favorite couple. I got two. Make it quick. Asuelu and Kalani, and Andrei and Lib. I'm gonna start with Kalani and Asuelu because it's gonna be fast. His family are ungrateful. That's what they are. They're ungrateful. My thing is, you asking for $1,000. You got a daughter right here that got a job. Why she can't give up $1,000? Why the other kid can't give up $1,000? Why Asuelo got to come up out his pocket because he came to stay because he got a wife? That's why. Oh, you want both their money, girl? They greedy. Second, Lib and Andrei. Lib did the right thing by stepping up out that grown man conversation. That was a grown man conversation. She did right. Let them men talk. Andrei been hiding stuff from her, but Lib should have been questioning him before she married him. So now she got the wonder like, oh, are you really hiding something now? Because it could have been a simple question. Do you have something to hide or no? And the friend made it clear that Andrei got something to hide. So I'm over it. They just do too much bickering for me. I ain't with the back and forth talking stuff. We don't do that.
But Chuck and Charlie, though, I do have to say, as much as I I'm not Team Andrei, Chuck and Charlie, like, I think that they just have such a negative relationship at this point. It's just a bad relationship because all they do is they instigate each other. Like, we see Chuck and Charlie instigate him. Like I said, Andrei walked into the airport with Libby, already just annoyed that they were arriving, ready to fight with them. So they're just always on edge with each other.
He didn't want them to come, and he was mad that they made a way to come. But you finna ask this man for some money for your wedding that you didn't put a penny in for, but you're gonna have the audacity to have an attitude because he's coming and he's questioning you? Boy, you better stay
and says go back to America.
No place to be talking.
I would be like, who's paying? You better take your behind back to that casino venue. Get that little cheap venue.
Okay, you better go be a bouncer somewhere and go collect a check somewhere.
All right, Jamal.
I'm with Carla on both couples. One, but I will say this: Kalani did it to herself. I'm sorry, you did it to yourself. Why are you hooking up with the 23-year-old in Samoa?
Yeah,
like that was some childish. Yeah.
I didn't realize he was so young.
Yeah, he was.
Well,
really
it's
young.
not only that; it's just, and this is no disrespect to Asuelu, but it's just like we see Asuelu's demeanor, we see how he is as a person, and obviously there's a right person for Asuelu out there. But Kalani she's very intellectual. She's very kind of like, you see, there's a lot to offer as far as conversation. I don't really. This was this was clearly a hookup that they tried to make. Okay, I got pregnant. I need to take responsibility and make this into a family and try to make this work. I feel so bad for her.
I don't, because you shouldn't have did that in the first place. Like, why you couldn't pick up a file a box? I'm sorry, $5 to send you all of this. Then you did it again. You thought another baby was gonna make him mature? No. She should have been a grown up in that situation. Don't take this on. I think she should have just like cut it loose and just raised the baby by herself because she'd have been better off.
I have a question, Jamal.
Yeah.
Real quick, since you're talking about this, Asuelu getting on that bus that one day, do you think Asuelu was smart enough to find his own bus, or did producers find him the bus?
Producers. Here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought this up. Did anyone see a bus stop?
No.
So why is the bus there with no bus stop? And it happened to just be in front of the house?
What do you take notes?
I'm observant. I mean, no bus stop. Like, no, and he just stopped right in front of the house. That's kind of coincidental, ain't it?
Production's like, hey,
right? Because they knew he was trying to run away, but he wouldn't be smart enough to know where he was going. They knew he knew where he was going, so that's what happened with that. It's just insane. Like he doesn't get things. Like, but it's funny, he doesn't get things, but he seems to be aware of what he's doing and what he's saying, which is the odd part. Like, right. Oh, we could do this for my family, like blah blah blah. I'm like, you're trying to manipulate the situation. You want to get them gifts and still give them $1,000. No, it's not happening.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
It's too much. And I do have to say too, I loved watching Angela kind of stand her ground. This season, we're seeing her come back to Nigeria with a new perspective. Like, look, guys, I tried it the first time. I did it the Nigerian way. I showed you guys that I could commit to your culture. I could commit to learning and being understanding and showing you that I'm interested in getting to know who my future husband's going to be. But now this time she's like, F that. Like, I've done mine. You guys are going to start respecting where I'm from.
But I agree with her because she's doing everything. She's making all the trips, all the sacrifices. She's got a sick mom at home. She's taking care of her grandkids. I mean, that's a lot.
I know. She has a tribe in there.
But my thing with Michael is I like Michael, but he's not being receptive to what she's saying. And that's where she gets frustrated. He's not understanding. And for me, he's also not asking any questions about what's really going on with her. Like, how's your mom? Like, how are you feeling? He doesn't have that capability. He hasn't shown that to me yet. And that's part
unless
of the
that's just, but that could be a result of just poor editing, not in his favor.
I mean, I can go with that. That could be fair, but like that's very consistent editing, which just showing him that light. And he doesn't. It's just odd. And who's the other couple I don't like? Paul
and Karini.
Libby and Andrei. Oof. I see both sides. Libby should just got up out, just ran. I was like, nah. When she said no, she kept sitting there. Move, get out the way, let them fight. That's my thing.
I know. Honestly, at this point, Charlie just needs. I get that people were sounding off in here saying that like, no, Andrei's an ASS, and yes, I agree with you. But at that point, that you're like, well, in America, we do it this way. It's like, okay, well then put your American fist in front of you, I guess, if you're going to talk with your, like if you're going to, I mean, I hate to say that. I don't condone violence or anything like that. But if he's going to talk like he was literally saying like, well, in America, we do what we want and bucking up at him. And I was surprised that Andrei was able to like kind of constrain himself and be like, or restrain himself and not tear Charlie apart. I really think Andrei would tear him apart.
Yeah, I think it's just, for me, like I would not go to someone's country and then try to embarrass them.
Yeah, especially in front of the friends. Yeah,
the friends, the family, and they were like, he's being crazy, but so are you. You're egging it on, so you're both doing it to each other.
Well,
then, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Jamal, I'm gonna bring up 2 more people with us. I have D. Brooklyn and Alabama Camper to also sound off on what's going on before we end our night too.
All right.
How's it going, D. Brooklyn? Alabama Camper, welcome back.
Hey guys.
All right, D. Brook, who's your least favorite couple? Since we're being negative tonight, thank you, Alabama Camper. We still love you.
Paul and Karini, I never liked. Oh, I got to plug in. I'm sorry. I was at the store, going to the store when you started your live, and I missed I was listening to it. I couldn't see it.
Jamal was at the store too. It's okay.
But
like,
it wasn't 7-Eleven either. It was not 7-Eleven.
No, oh, God. Not at 2 a.m., right? No 2 a.m.?
No.
Okay,
It's 10:30. Well, it was 10:30. But anyway, yeah, my least favorite, Paul and Karini, hands down.
Do you think
Didn't
that
you just
Karini's
split?
right to give him a 2-month ultimatum, though?
2-month ultimatum for a job, you're talking.
Well, she's pretty much saying if you don't get a job in 2 months, I'm
So we're on the
sick
same
of
page.
this.
Yeah. No, that should have been done 6 months ago.
Yeah, but they just got there.
Then it should have been a conversation in Brazil, not here. Like I'm going back to Brazil if you don't get your stuff together.
Yeah, but I think in Brazil that he sold her on the fall, and she mentioned this in a previous episode. She said that Paul really painted this picture of America and how amazing it was going to be. And then this guy's pulling out like a to-go box from Ruby Tuesdays from 3 years ago out of his trunk, full of like burgers and fries, and all like taking her to these trailers that are ripped down with no flooring on it. And I'm sure and then he insults her and he's like, "You lived in a wooden hut." And she even looked at him and she's like, almost like she wanted to say the B word, like, it's better than this shit. Like, you know?
Yep.
But
you're surprising me. You're kind of slipping there with the language a little bit.
No. I'm saying shite.
Okay.
Yes. I'm being spot on. But all right, Alabama camper. Now, since I asked you your just to kind of help us in the night, I want to go around and ask everybody, since we all kind of sounded off in a negative way, who our least favorite couple is. Who are you rooting for the most this season?
I think I really want Angela and Michael to make it. I really think that they are a good couple. I feel like that she is just so overwhelmed with everything she has back in the States, and he is just so lost where he is. And he, in Nigeria, they're the man, and they're the ones that are supposed to rule everything. And I think that they don't understand each other quite right yet. But I really want them to. I really want them to work.
Awesome. All right, Jamal.
Same. I want them to make it so bad. I'm trying to figure out in my head how they can do it without getting a surrogate. I'm not seeing how it could work.
Yeah.
But those seem to be the most genuine of all the couples.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, at the very beginning, I used to like Tanya and Sinjin, but then Tanya got my nerves, so she got to go.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing too much.
They're like the Yolanda of this season.
But how you gonna go to Wish? How come you go to Wish Doctor School and then come back with the attitude? I'm like, no, she can leave. But Angela and Michael are just get the little surrogate and make it happen.
Yeah.
So 2 for Angela and Michael. All right, D Brooklyn.
I'm gonna have to agree, Angela and Michael. But the simple fact, they're gonna have to wait a long time with this travel ban,
which is awful.
Ugh.
Mind you, what's going on? Why was his stuff? They never put that out. Why he was denied. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Because his K1 visa was. Jamal, do you know?
I don't know, but if I remember the episode correctly, what it was, he hadn't been officially denied yet. The lawyer said that there was a good chance that he could be denied, but they haven't received anything official, and they haven't addressed that yet. So he hasn't been officially denied yet.
Right.
And that was a while ago. So, real time, not TV time, but real time, there should be an answer.
Yeah, because if you think about it, we're almost a year later at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Nope. And I know that they're filming right now. I know Angela's filming with Michael right now because she's not available for interviews right now because of it. So at least we know that they're still together. But since everybody in the room, before we go, decided Angela and Michael, that was the couple. I guess I'm going to go with a different couple, and I know this is going to surprise everybody. I'm only rooting for them because they've had a baby at this point, but I would really love to see, again, a negative turn into a positive. I would love to see Andrei learn how to communicate effectively with her family. I think I would love to see him learn how to be appreciative. I feel like Chuck gives so much to Libby and offers so much to like their marriage, gives so much, like contributes so much financially to them. And I wish Andrei would get on board and really realize how fortunate they are. Because I think once he does, and he kind of puts his ego away in the European kind of way of, I am man, this is my family, don't question me. And her family sees that he's kind of making that effort. I feel like they'll come together and be able to, it's going to take years. It's going to take years. But
I think the main issue with that situation is like I've never seen them one-on-one have a conversation. Just them. That needs to happen because when you have...
Well, they did. Chuck and Andrei did.
When?
Remember when Libby first had the baby?
Oh,
when
okay.
She walked out of the room and he said, "Oh, this is a nice house. I'm glad you guys finally invited me since I paid for it." And that's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I missed that episode. I was like, why haven't they sat down, have a real conversation?
No. Because he came to see the baby for the first time, and he said, "Thank you for inviting me over. I'm glad I finally got to make it since I paid for it. So what are you gonna do? Like, what's your plan for a job?" And he's like, "I don't have to explain anything to you." And the dad's like, "Well, you kind of do because I'm paying for your crap."
Right.
Well, they've had the two times they had a one-on-one thing because he went to his office.
Oh,
maybe,
I missed those.
Yeah.
I need to try to find those episodes. I missed those.
Yep.
I know. Like he was offered a job, and why Andrei didn't take it? Like, well, why can't? Well, I would just take the job. Like, look, thank you, Dad. Appreciate you.
Oh, well, he was also stupid with that trucking job. I'll call you to the job interviewer. I'm like, come on, who goes to the interview?
Oh,
I'll call you.
Yeah. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so since we're not at 15 minutes left. Oh, sorry, Alabama Camper.
I think the dad is always paying for everything in that relationship, and that's always be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like think about it. We've never seen Libby go to work, but yet she get a check from her dad.
True.
TLC checks.
Okay, so before we imagine being stuck in a truck with Andrei. No, thank you. Andrei. No, thank you. Guys, 91 in the room. Thank you. Okay, so since we have 3 minutes left on the clock, real quick, guys, I'm going to go around just to sound off and let us go. Favorite moment of the night. I'll start off to give you guys a moment to think about it. My favorite moment of the night, because I think sometimes he could be such a dirtbag, was seeing the shoe thrown at Colt. Again, I don't condone violence, but you did lie about it. You knew she was upset about it. You're being shady about it. And listen, sometimes... You know, if my fiance goes a little bit nuts sometimes, you might meet a nice Nike. So I get it. With that being said, ladies first, Alabama Camper, please.
Oh, gosh. There was really no favorite part of the night. I'm really kind of disappointed in everybody in the show tonight. The one thing that I've got to say is I am so irritated with Colt and his mother and that issue. It is so draining. But I have to kind of agree with you. The shoe to the head was probably the best moment.
I mean, it's just at this point, like Colt, when you're sitting there, like your previous wife is yelling at you, so you down a bottle of whiskey. Like your ways of dealing with things are. It's like at this point, is it gonna take a shoe to the head? Because like I said, I don't condone violence, but like shite. Brooklyn. Right.
But Adam, Colt and Colt, and they're from the same place. What is that all about, Adam?
No, I don't understand. I said that. I don't. I said they must be from different regions in Brazil. I had a sister-in-law from Brazil. Her name was Marina, but she was from Rio, and she never added the E to anything, and she was like fresh from Brazil. She spoke complete fluent Portuguese.
But they're both crazy.
She has a different accent. Listen, I'm not saying they don't both have a temper, because they definitely both have a temper.
Banana hammock boy? Come on.
But listen, Cole, also, you need to, he's like, you know, like I get it. Latin women, like even Tim says it. Tim says it in the Pillow Talk. Latin women have a temper. It's sometimes I get that because I have a little bit of Hispanic in me, I feel. So I feel like I could get a little bit like temperamental sometimes. And I mean, I'm not a woman, but you know, I feel like people can get temperamental. And you know, if you lie to this woman, she's asking you straightforward. She's introducing you to her family, and she's asking you about one topic that is obviously super, super kind of like walk the line with her, and you lie to her. His mom knows it.
Here's one point: you never mess with mamas.
Well, his mom, what my theory is
Right.
his mom saw that he pulled the dad aside and asked about the proposal. And the mom was like, no, hell no, I have to interfere.
Right.
Yeah.
Jamal,
Okay.
what do you think about that one?
Yeah, go ahead, Jamal.
It's kind of a tie. Like, one is like the one just through the shoe. I'm sorry she missed. Bad aim, I understand. And then, but I think number one has to be Kalani going, like, just stepping in and like telling his family, no, this is not happening. This is, she vocally stood up for herself in front of him and in front of his family. So I was really proud of her for that. I'm like, grown woman pants on that one. You needed to do that because what's going to happen. Because what they were going to do is they're going to keep asking for money. It's going to be more and more. Soon you're going to be funding the whole family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, remember Annie from Thailand? And she was like, or not Annie from Thailand. It wasn't Annie. I said this last time. It was a different 90-day couple. But I remember the guy he wasn't specific on the dowry. And then the girl, she was from, I think, South Africa. And she was like,
Kenya.
Oh, Kenya. And she said, since you didn't say a number to my family that, you know, listen, you might have to pay the dowry for forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that with the brothers talking about the dowry.
Yeah, the dowry. Listen, I want a dowry in America. If I'm gonna get married, I want 3 sheep, two water buffalo, and 1 cow, 2 goats.
Yeah,
I want it too.
No,
don't forget the goat.
The goat is key. The goat is key.
Oh. Okay. All right. So D-Brooke?
I would have to agree with Jamal on this 100%. Her composure was paramount in that. It was a brilliant move on her part. Because honestly, I thought she was going to like lunge at her. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like, woman, I almost said something. Woman, how much you paid? When she said that, I jumped in the air. But you know everybody knows what the number is. Everybody.
But she did but she did it so cold though. Like she was just
it was
so
smooth.
like it was so smooth. Like what?
It was smooth with a V.
I know, I liked it. I did like that. All right, so we still have to find out too, guys, and we're gonna have to take this back to Sherelle. I have to make a phone call when I get off of here. I want to find out from Sherelle what's going on with Paul getting fired from TLC because I know Sherelle's gonna know the tea. So tomorrow we're gonna have to cover this, guys, especially before 90 Day Fiance the other way. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop everybody down real quick. And Carla got disconnected earlier, so I'm gonna bring her on to say her last words. Bye, Jamal. Bye, Alabama Camper. Bye, D-Brooke. Bye, guys. All right, and just to bring up Carla, because respectfully, she got disconnected. It's not her fault. Carla, I'm going to ask you real quick before I bring you on, who was your least favorite couple, and also what was your favorite moment? Go ahead.
Oh, the night. Okay, least favorite couple. I'm probably going to have to say Libby and Andrei right now because they just got too much bickering and back and forth, too many problems right now. I really don't think they need a second wedding. I think they need to figure out the family issues first so the family can come together so they can, embrace in their unity as a family, as together, as one. And my favorite part about tonight, I think definitely was Colty with the shoe to the head. I will say, although Colt is a huge liar and a manipulator, Debbie definitely stirred the pot and she came with vindictive intentions and she did this and she did this. She started it. I don't care. I said what I said.
I like that. Wow. Did you just have espresso?
I had a Sprite.
Oh, I was going to say my next guess was tequila.
Yes.
I knew it was something. I knew it was espresso or tequila because when I start getting opinionated, it's espresso or tequila. I knew it. I told you I'm on point. I'm good with this kind of stuff. All right, Carla. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and thank you so much. I hope we see you guys tomorrow. And I don't know if you know, but tomorrow we're covering tonight's episode. We're doing a recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac. It's either going to be with Sherelle at 11 a.m. on her channel or with me at 10 a.m. I'll let you guys know in my community tab. But if you want to join, please call in.
I definitely will.
All right. Bye, Carla.
See ya.
Guys, what an awesome night. And thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats. You guys were awesome. Grandma Scary, Master of Blackjack, Channel 2, Vira. There were so many more. They took them off my chat. I promise I'll make sure to thank everybody. And I like to look at my thing, too. Thank you also, Stacy, for the PayPal donation. I've learned to look at my phone now before I get off, just so I don't have to come back the next day and say thank you. So thank you guys, everybody, for watching. And again, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be doing the recap of tonight's episode 2 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I know TLC has nothing to do with Bravo, but that's okay. And guys, also, don't forget, our goal this week is, not this week, but our goal right now, our running goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers to start our anti-bullying campaign. And before I go, make sure you like this video. If you haven't already, comment on this video, share this video. It helps a great deal. Like, press the finger up button, and subscribe to my channel. With that being said, guys, bye. Except for you, Jolene. Bye, guys. Awkward. Now I just have to press end broadcast and wait for